Hello, everyone, and welcome back. All right, so today we're looking at car transport here. This is the 60408. Things are a little bit off. I do apologize. This is my second time editing this. So, as we're looking at this, and Indy is trying to be very helpful with us, uh, this is a $100 set. Probably can be bought more for adults in towns and all that than the kids, but it is a nice looking set as it is. We have a cab over truck, a nice trailer, and three nice cars here, as well as having four different figures. Now this is 100 or 998 pieces, so it is a little bit bigger set. Not too bad, all in all. Seeing that this is post editing, it's about 2 hours worth of putting it all together, um, because we're spending time on one car after another, and then we get the cab, and then finally to the trailer. This is a lot of fun to try and get together, as Indy is just taking so much time here, being all lovey dovey here this morning. Um, so one of the big things I did want to mention is when I did pick this set up, I was looking at the connection between the tractor and the trailer. So as we're trying to get this opened up here, we'll really kind of spend a little bit of time looking at the connection there, and then we'll kind of go from there. As we open this up, we get to see how many bags we have here today. And as we look at this, we have a nice packet here with all of our booklets. As we look at that, you, we'll get it open here in a second. And then as we're going through the bags, so we're trying to count through how many bags we have. So we have eight here for sure. And of course, we can see bag one, getting through bag nine. So there are nine bags in all. And set nine and eight off to the side, looking through, and then we find six. Then there's seven. Then we get six as we line them all up. And then we'll find five here. I think that's five. And looking through it up. All right, so now we have four. And then we'll get three. And then we get two. And of course, then we will grab bag one. All right. So, of course, I've got the camera up a little bit higher than what I wanted. We'll get this adjusted here in a minute. So hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing when we're trying to put this all together. Now, some of the things are when we're looking at all the different cars here and everything else, and especially as I get the bag out, um, we do have some technique that's being put into this, which is really helpful trying to get all this put together. Uh, this bag open here. All right, so we have the big book and then the cars. So the cars are bags one, two, and three separately for each car, and then four through nine is for uh, the tractor and the trailer. So really, I think four and five are the trailer or the tractor and then the trailer. We do have six stickers here that we use for the different vehicles. The first vehicle, bag one, does not have any stickers on it. But as we look at bag two, which is our second vehicle, um, we're going to have the purple on there, and then bag three, which is going to be our muscle car. Um, that's going to have the flame stickers, and our tractor is going to have the blue sticker there, adding a lot of extra little flavor there. Not a lot of stickers, but a little bit of stickers to have some fun with. All right, and as we look at bag, or, the book for bag one here, it looks like it really is more of an electric car here. Uh, Possibly a gas, if you really want to call it that, but either way. Um, and then we're going to kind of take a peek here and see what we have for car two. This is more of a modern car. All right. The hardest thing is trying to redo this because, you know, I'm excited going through all this with you, and then as I'm recording this, because I've already put the set together, and the fun and exploring what everything is along the way, I feel like I lose that a little bit. So then we get Bake 2, which looks like it's a Challenger. So it's a purple Challenger as we kind of go through that. And then we have our kind of muscle custom car here with a little bit of Technic on the front. It's not as much Technic on there as I thought there was, but there is a little bit of Technic there for the headlights, which is a lot of fun. It was fun putting it together and getting it all going and looking at our Challenger again, and then seeing the stickers on the doors and then on the hood there for our engine intake. Um, and then we'll get into this. So, getting into our truck and all that here, after this is all put together. All right, move the camera a little bit here. Okay, so looking at our cab, uh, it's a nice truck, uh, well done. It's a dual axle in the back, single axle in the front. Uh, it's a nice cab over. Uh, we have our first aid kit and our fire extinguisher back there, as well as our exhaust here uh, from the engine. And it is a cab over, so one of the things that they did add in there is our engine underneath, so we can lift the cab up. You see the nice engine underneath there as we get all that going here. Set that back down. All right. Um, it's funny watching me do this as a retake here. Um, so it's nicely done. It adds a lot of extra flavor to it. Rolls nicely. The whole thing is when we look at this and the possibilities of what we can do. Um, are a lot of fun. Now, one of the things I want to mention is, this is a European truck, so of course it's a cab over compared to a lot of the American trucks, which have the longer snout on there. Uh, but you get to some of the older towns and still kind of want that. The trailer hitch here is the fun part of it. So it is a ball joint that kind of connects into that. And we have the feet that's holding everything up, and of course, then I'm kind of unfortunately having the wheel wells in the way, but we get those moved up, and it does slide pretty good, and we get a good uh, shift from going up and down. So if you're trying to go over like regular linoleum or something onto carpeting, and you need to kind of have it go up and down, it does change things a little bit. And it is kind of nice being able to do that. Now, I do have another truck that I'm going to bring in here and kind of show you uh, one of the older designs that we have. So this one is a lot better and a lot friendlier for this. Now, this being a nice dusty set sitting on our table here, we can move it a little bit. That joint is a little movable there, but it's nowhere near what we have today. So showing you that we get a little bit more flexibility. So if you're a kid and you're going over different levels of terrain, you're going to have that extra availability. Now, something I wasn't thinking about at the time of recording this is if we're doing train tracks and going up and over the train tracks, the newer design should give us a little bit extra flexibility with that as well. Looking at the trailer, we have all the different bumps in there, trying to get the different size cars in there. A lot of flexibility. I wasn't certain as to what the Technic pieces were for in this, and what that does is that allows us the flexibility of lowering that top ramp so we can get the cars up there. And I wasn't certain about that when I was putting it all together. I was like, okay, there's a reason for it, but I just didn't know what it was. So that gives us that flexibility. So we can raise it up, and then what we'll do is we'll lift up the tailgate in the back, and then that kind of locks everything into place here, which really helps. And everything kind of flows very nicely, um, adding everything in there. So we'll slide that back. We'll start looking at our cars. So we'll take our first car from bag one. Whether you want to consider this as an electric car or a gas powered car, to me, I'm thinking more of an electric with the back being more ventilation for the battery so that way it doesn't overheat. If you want to see, it's just the um, tooling or cosmetic design there for the car. That's fine. Now they're using the front and rear bumper designs that they've kind of gone to, which works out pretty well. So if you really want to customize it, it gives you that flexibility. Uh, you know, you can change them out, and they did it on all three of them, which I'll kind of show. Um, really being able to make it your own and trying to get it in there. So I had not put them in there, so trying to just drive it up there, seeing what the kids are going to do because hey, I'm a big kid myself. It does need a little extra push to get it in there. This car sits a little on the low side, and there's that extra hump there, which I'm trying to get this over. So I have to push a little extra just to get it up underneath there. Um, and of course, I'm almost driving the thing off the trailer. but it does hold it up pretty good in there. And then we'll grab our next one. So here's our Challenger. Nice look on the front. We do have the sticker on the scoop for the hood there. We have a little fastback up on the roof as well as the spoiler back there. And again, we do have um, the same connection as we're looking at the stickers here for the front and the rear, and it's using the same frame as the other cars. So this is a standard frame. So we take off the back here, and you can see that same flexibility. So if you want to change things up between the cars, or if you have some of the other sets that you want to change it up with some of those other sets that we've seen in the past couple of years, it gives us that flexibility. And I push it all the way up front there, although in some regards it seems like I'm pushing it a little too far up there, but it is there. And then we have our kind of custom muscle car with the Technic pieces. Now, there was not as much Technic there as I thought there was going to be. It's just those two pieces, but it works very well. And it surprised me because we have smaller tires in the back here to put the molding around it. So it works very nicely. It's not taking anything away from that. It's just one of those things that surprised me because it's smaller tires. Just kind of showing off the molding there that we have. Now, again, this does have that same flexibility if you want to change things up here with that tail. But with the molding and all that, that kind of works a little bit differently. But you could do it. Um, I don't know how well that would really come out looking, but it still has flexibility. And the guy in there really has that the sideburns there really a more 50s vibe. Um, and then when you look at his shirt has the same print that we see on our Challenger there. So that's kind of neat looking at that. Um, that same print there that we kind of see on the shirt here is the same style print that we have on the Challenger on the side. So whether that's just a car loving family or if they're part of the same auto body shop or car dealership or collectors group or whatever the case may be. It is kind of nice how it's kind of interconnected between them all. So, and we'll try and see if we can't drop that down, but that Challenger's kind of in the way, so I'll have to take the Challenger out, and we'll get the Challenger out of there. Yep, no, that's definitely in the way. All right, we'll get the Challenger out, slide this down. I don't know if the other car's going to be, nope, just manages to sneak that by. We'll drive this up here, just wanting to have the fun of how we would normally do it, and it holds really nice. And we're only going to get the two cars up there because if we try to go a little too close, it just doesn't seem like it sits well. And putting it right here, it seems like it locks the tires in a little bit better. So I'll raise that up, lock that all up there, and we have space for another car. Now, it just so happens I do have another car just off screen here that we had put together last time. So we'll get that car and we'll put that up there. This was our Pacer car that we had done for our kind of F1 series. This was another car that I had done along with them. We'll kind of stack that back here a little bit more. And the nice thing is it gives us a nice tractor that we can use, rolls really nicely, turns nicely, kind of what you would expect as I'm running over the hat for the driver. Um, and yeah, it is a little bit more expensive, but there again, we're getting four vehicles here. We have the cab, the trailer, the three cars. Um, and we have four vehicles, five vehicles really, in that amount of room. So if I put it into my city, he's hauling the extra vehicles there. Um, yeah, it's going to take up a little bit more room, but if I had, say three vehicles there, it would take up pretty much the same amount of room there anyhow. And it gives us a little bit of extra flexibility. We can knock that off, and it does disconnect fairly easily there. Being able to have fun with that connector there. Might have to see about trying to retro engineer some of those and being able to kind of lift that up and see the engine and have fun with that. That all works out really nicely. I think it's a great collection or addition to the collection that we have and a great thing to have for the end of the set. So with that, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for visiting. It's always wonderful having you here. And I will see you in the next video.